Hi, folks. I'm Harris Cooper. I'm the Hugo L. Bloomquist Distinguished Professor of Psychology and Neuroscience, Emeritus, at Duke. I served at Duke in capacity of the Director of the Program in Education, Chair of my department, and Dean of the Social Sciences for Trinity College. When I retired from Duke, I was appointed the Editor-in-Chief of the American Psychologist, the flagship journal of the American Psychological Association that circulates to 80,000 psychologists worldwide. Also in retirement, I tried my hand at writing popular nonfiction, with some success. My second book, Finding America in a Minor League Ballpark, was published in February. One day, I ventured out to the ballpark to watch the Duke Blue Devils play. A woman approached me and asked if I wanted to work for the Bulls. I said no, but I took her card anyway. I dropped it on my desk, and it sat there for 2 weeks. Having grown up in the shadow of Yankee Stadium, the notion of a summer job at the ballpark was simply irresistible. Being a social psychologist by trade, the notion of writing about my experiences as a seating bowl host came naturally to me. About 2 weeks into my summer job, the people I was meeting and the happenings in the ballpark convinced me to push ahead. Who were these people? My fellow hosts included a retired North Carolina Supreme Court judge, a web designer, a financial aid officer at Duke, and people struggling to find full-time work, to name just a few. One host quit his job at a warehouse because he couldn't get the day shift so he could work the games at night. We all shared a love of baseball, of fresh air, and of meeting people. The fans I met included a 90-year-old man celebrating his birthday with his 3 70-year-old sons. I also met a baby just weeks old swaddled to his father's chest. I met people at their first baseball game and people who knew more about the sport than seemed humanly possible. I met a guy dressed in camo with a t-shirt that read Rebel Scum. At the same game, I met a guy in a t-shirt that had a drawing of Noam Chomsky on it. I met the mother of one ball player who spoke not a word of English. I met the father of one ball player who made sure that everyone within 10 yards of him knew that the kid on the field was his son. In short, I found America at the ballpark, America at its best. In addition to describing the goings-on at the ballpark, the book also contains chapters on the history of the city of Durham, on the history of the minor leagues, on the history of the Durham Bulls, and on the backgrounds of the ball players just one step short of the big show. There are also profiles of 12 baseball movies, all of which are not set in the major leagues. I tried to write a book that was entertaining, but also contained an important message. With so much talk these days about what divides us as Americans, isn't it time we remember the things that bind us together as a nation and as neighbors?